Welcome to class. I'm Trevor, and on this channel I chat all things D&D. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 homebrew magic items that you could use in your next campaign. Now, these are going to be inspired by Magic the Gathering cards, but even if you don't play the game, I'd stay tuned, because these are going to be valuable whether you know the card game or not. The first card that we have is Arc Splitter. This would work especially well if you have artificers in your campaign, but I wanted a magic lightning railgun, and that's kind of what I came up with. Primarily, this can be used to make a ranged attack roll, and if you hit the target, then creatures are within 5 feet of that target have to make a dex save, or they take half of the damage as well. Think about it like lightning sparking off of the central target to the characters around it, which some higher level lightning spells do. In addition to this, there's an overcharge ability. You can pump a lot of damage all at once. You can actually cast a lightning bolt from this gun, but if you do, you have to roll a d20, and if you roll a 1, the gun is destroyed. And if you do, the gun is completely powered off until after your next long rest. This means you can't use the other mode either. You might want to change some of these things up. Maybe the damage is a little bit different. Maybe you want to cut off that kind of arcing around the central target. Or you could even have it level up and an artificer has to tinker with it to get that overcharge ability. But I really like the kind of core concept of this gun, and I hope you do too. If you'd handle it differently, let me know how you'd make Arc Splitter in the comments. Next, we have Brass Knuckles. It's weird to me that there aren't knuckle dusters in 5e, and I think there's a lot of room for different homebrew. I base this off of the art of the card. So this card looks like there's kind of flames coming off of the brass knuckles. So if you're wearing these, and I think they would be primarily used by fighters or monks, your attacks would deal a d4 bludgeoning and a d4 fire damage. In addition to that, and I've never seen anything like this in 5th edition, so I don't know if mechanically it works, if you attack a target multiple times in one attack action, so essentially when you have multi-attack, or Fury of Blows if you're a monk, then they have to make a con save, or at the end of your turn, they're knocked down. I tried to put things in here so this wouldn't be overpowered. Obviously there's something to say about stunning someone with a strike, but that seems very monk specific, so I didn't want to take that away from the monk. And if you can punch them and then knock them down and then keep punching them, that might be too powerful, which is why I waited until the end of the turn for that kind of prone condition to take effect. So essentially you're punching them, they get dizzy, and then when your turn is over, that's when they actually hit the ground. It seemed more balanced to me that way, but let me know what you think. Next, we have Quick Draw Dagger. This is a pretty simplistic and synergistic one. It's a +1 dagger, and it gives you +2 to your initiative if you're attuned to it. In addition to that, if you attack someone who is yet to move in the initiative order, you deal some bonus damage to them. This seemed to match the flavor of the card. You get the first attack on someone, and it really, it's a quick draw dagger. Think about it like a switchblade. If you're playing in a 1920s style game, you can surprise someone, hence the bonus to initiative, and because you're almost sucker punching them, you get to deal a bit more damage. Finally, we have Luxior, Giada's Gift. This is a legendary sword that a character in the New Capenna story gives to another one, right? So it's a weapon that is very much imbued with angelic energy. It's a +2 sword, and if you're attuned to it, you get a flying speed. I also fundamentally believe that, let's say an Aarakocra gets this, they already have a flying speed, add to their speed. If you're trying to give a magic item to a player because it would fit that player really well, and something kind of overlaps what they already have, change it. Give them a little bit more. Now, it doesn't need to be oh, you double your flying speed. No. But let's say they have a 30-foot flying speed. Now they can fly 40 feet. I'm okay with that because I never want magic items to feel like a letdown to my players, especially when there's something like this. If it's legendary, then it should feel special, and I don't have a problem kind of manipulating things behind the scenes to make it work best for the character that wants to wield it. Besides the +2 and the flying speed, this sword has Charged with Halo, proficiency bonus times per long rest. As a bonus action, when you hit a creature and deal damage, you can pump more damage into the sword and make them light up as if they're affected by Guiding Bolt. The additional damage you're dealing is radiant, and that illumination, it all feels very angelic in flavor, and that is what I was going for with this magic sword. Those are 4 magic items for your next 5th edition game. If you would design any of these differently, drop them in the comments down below. And if you like this kind of homebrew stuff, please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. I love doing this kind of thing, especially pulling inspiration from other places and incorporating it into my 5th edition games. But as I always say, be safe, make smart life choices.